of the rim. Got it! Oh, the slam! Oh, here's a Curry way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry!
The one question, the only question anybody had about the Chicago Bulls coming into this year after they added Caruso, Lonzo Ball, DeRozan, pretty much giving them one of the better off seasons of the offseason. It was just defense. Knew the offense was going to be fun. We knew that it would probably put them somewhere near the top of the East, or it had the potential to, because we were just wondering what their defense would look like. When you've got Vooch in the middle in an era where pick and roll is run relentlessly, then you've got LaVine and DeRozan, you're like, it's not going to be a strong suit. It's going to be tough for them in the playoffs to go against a team with multiple stars, which is really what you're going to have to deal with if you're trying to win a championship. But up to this point, they've been a top 10 defensive team, along with having one of the best offensive duos in the league. And I think there were some great examples of that against the Knicks tonight. Now, grain of salt, it is the New York Knicks. Not saying that they're terrible, but Randle is not having a great season as he had last year, even though he did have a good game last night. And the Knicks just overall, they're not doing great at the moment. But this is more about the Chicago Bulls defensive activity. This is about Alex Caruso. This is about the total team effort that they are using in games like this one, where they don't necessarily have a great one-on-one matchup for a guy like Randle. So he ends up putting up his numbers, but they pull out the win because they got some key stops in the fourth quarter. And they're doing this very early in the season. What particularly caught my eye was the matchups that they were using. It was the fact that I was watching Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, and Caruso guard what was just an all-star power forward last year. But they got very creative and bothered him just enough to escape with this win. I wanted to show some examples of what they did and just give you some idea of why the Bulls have impressed me on that end so far. Alright, this possession is just perfect defense of a star player. So primary defender is going to start off being Lonzo Ball on Randle. The Knicks see that, but regardless of if it's going to be Lonzo or LaVine, they want this ISO side for Randle. So they're going to set a screen, which is going to be switched, that puts LaVine on him. They want to get him this side. They're going to clear it out and then just, give him this room to operate, maybe post up, even though this is kind of far out. And the Bulls just have different ideas. So as soon as Rose passes it, Lonzo Ball is tracking it. Rose does notice this and makes the immediate correct cut, but guess what? Kobe White makes the immediate correct rotation. That is going to bring Burks along the perimeter since this is jammed up. DeRozan sees that. Now Burks is jammed up. So that leaves Javonte Green guarding too. He's guarding Barrett here. He's guarding quickly. What happens? Good read from Burks immediately. Instead of just swinging it so quickly, which would have probably been a turnover, I think he's reading that Javonte Green is probably going to come steal this. He's going to whip it to what looked like an open RJ Barrett, except look at LaVine. He's already made his way back. And when did LaVine start making his way back? After Randle got rid of the ball, he takes notice of the RJ Barrett cut, already sees it. That's not open. Nothing is open. That is a missed shot. I'm sorry, watching this in real time, I thought it was a missed shot. They called this a foul. I'm so used to this season them not calling certain contact. I thought we were going the other way, so it is a foul here. But honestly, if you're Chicago and your goal is to not let Randle eat when you don't necessarily have a defender his size out there, you live with this possession. Whatever, you got to the end of it. LaVine had to make a tough recovery. They called that foul, but you live with this. You live with this possession. So this time they are going to get the ISO with LaVine on Randle, but I think he gets frustrated on this possession, and it's probably because there's lack of Knicks spacing. So you see he's going to get it over here on the right side, but every defender is within recovery length of their offensive player, of their matchup. If they're going to have to come over here and show on Randle and then get back, or if they have to cover a cut, they can pretty much all do that. There's a lot of time on the shot clock when Randle decides to go here, so he gives LaVine a little bit of a fake, starts going in, and look at the space. You got Rose at the three-point line, you got Quickly who's cutting kind of in that lane. Burks thought about a cut, Barrett's in the corner, but nobody's really got like a clear look, and that allows Lonzo Ball to come here, make the gather a little bit difficult, and therefore the look ends up being difficult, and no foul on that one. So just to show you the freeze frame when he goes up, you got 15 seconds on the clock. DeRozan is here, LaVine has got the clear contest, Lonzo was already helped, and Jones is in the vicinity. And if you back up just a little bit before he went up with it, again, look, there's really not a great pass to make here unless he wants to turn around in midair and maybe swing it to Quickly, and that might not be a great idea. So good Bulls defense. So this one is fun because it starts in transition. Instead of just posting Randle up, he is now the ball handler from the top. But look how this gets locked up. So Lonzo Ball was the primary defender once again. You're going to immediately get a switch with Zach LaVine. Look how perfect they defend this though. So you're going to get a little bit of one-on-one. This hasn't worked so far. It didn't work in the post, but notice the quickly cut down the middle. Smart cut because they see that the Bulls are doubling Randle at this point, but the Bulls are also ready for that counter. Randle sees quickly here, but guess what? So does all NBA defender Caruso. He's going to shift right down into the lane. Randle has already left his feet. And get this, he can't even make the skip pass. You got Derrick Rose, you can barely see him in the corner here. Two people are defending this pass, Ball and Levine. Even if he wanted to skip this to Rose, this would probably be a turnover, as that's a really easy read for Kobe White. It's gonna jump right in the lane, at least get a tip pass. And that's what Caruso gets, tip pass. And basically the rest of this is a broken play. So Ball bobbles a little bit, quickly can take this shot, decides not to, gives it to Randle. Lonzo's here with 3 seconds. The double comes again. Zach LaVine shows you are at a shot clock violation. This was really the whole reason I wanted to make this video, because as I'm watching it, I'm like, bro, they have got Alex Caruso, point guard, guarding former All-Star Julius Randle, in the clutch, by the way. So because the Bulls are switching in situations involving Randle, that is going to put Caruso on him. Randle's going to try to get position, and then just nothing happens. Now, also notice Lonzo Ball is ready to double if it looks like Randle's going to get too deep. If he's going to get great position because of the size and height, he probably should be able to, but then he just never does. It looks like he's going to try to blow by. Look at the quick help from Lonzo. Also, what you got going on back here doesn't necessarily help. You've got RJ Barrett looking like he might try to backdoor because he's probably anticipating some Derrick Jones help. So if Derrick Jones shifts up, maybe you got a layup for RJ. But also because of that and because of what Lonzo's doing, it's just totally, it's jammed here. Randle does not have a great, he's not going to get a good look at this. Even if Randle does hop in this lane and fully commit, if he's looking to pass, you've probably got Levine who's going to get out the Rose. You've got Lonzo who's going to show back the Burks. And so there's nothing there. He decides to give it to Burke, and this play is basically going to die. Now you've only got 5 seconds left. Randle catches the ball way farther out than he's comfortable, and look at the defense by Caruso. That's what we calling him, the Caruso. Randle tries to step back. Caruso tracks his movements, barely leaves his feet, doesn't leave room for a foul. Randle has to give it up, gives Burks the grenade. Man. On this play, first and second efforts. Once again, a switch is going to put Caruso on Randle. He does never really get any kind of deep position, so he's going to catch the ball at the Bulls logo. Same exact thing here. Lonzo is just going to wait in help position. He's going to show as he sees Randle trying to use his size. Now, smart, quick cut behind the defense by RJ Barrett, which Randle is aware of. But first of all, I just want to point out how well defended this pass is. Once again, no foul from Caruso. Probably could have easily tipped that pass, although RJ Barrett is wide open under the basket. That might be the reason that it came in a little bit hot. And now the second defensive effort. Check out Lonzo Ball, who has now left the help on Randle to get to RJ Barrett. And DeRozan is there, by the way. Caruso is now heading out to a possible quickly pass. DeRozan has knocked the ball loose, and this one is going out of bounds. It's out on the Bulls, but they stopped that possession. There's 4.8 left on the clock. So by the time this game is over, Julius Randle has scored 34 points on 13 of 19 shooting, which would probably qualify as one of his best games of the season. And Alex Caruso is fouled out, but in the fourth quarter, and all of that defense I just showed you was in the fourth quarter, Randle's only scored 3 times. One of those was a tip, and the other came with about 20 seconds left with the game already out of reach. So essentially, when the Knicks were just barely hanging on, trying to tie or take the lead, Randle could only score on the defense once. There really weren't enough flaws for him to take advantage of any other time. Lonzo Ball is playing good defense this season. Caruso is playing magnificent defense. Shout out to Steve Jones Jr. on Twitter. He used to say, or he's tweeted that he used to say as a joke, there isn't anyone in the league he wouldn't put Alex Caruso on, but he also says it's becoming less of a joke. And as you see, they put him on a power forward. And because of the defensive activity of the entire team, it worked pretty well. In my mind, I have Chicago right now like 1 tier below an actual contender. It's because I think they're gonna have some matchup problems in the playoffs. It's because I don't think Vooch is going to be a great pick and roll defender when they're going against a Kevin Durant or teams that are gonna hunt it. But boy, they are close. In this Caruso edition, which may have even flown under the radar throughout the summer, it puts them really, really close. His ball pressure is crazy. His versatility as a defender means you can run small lineups and still put him on whoever the best player is, even if he might foul out. But it gives you that option. And right now, I would say they are a legitimate big man defender, like a big man who can defend space. They are that guy away from really being in the championship tier contender. But again, this is happening at the beginning of the season right now. There's still time for them to get better on both sides of the ball. And so I would officially have them in, I guess you would call it a dark horse tier. Because yes, we thought they were going to be good coming into this season, but I did not call them winning the East. So if they won the East, given that you've got the Bucks there, you got the Heat, got the Nets, I'd be pleasantly shocked. That makes them a dark horse in my mind. But for all the questions this summer to have been about defense, if you're a Chicago fan, you are happy with the defensive activity right now. Anyways, let me know what you think about Chicago in the comment section. Where would you rank them? Do you give them a legitimate chance to come out of the East? It's kind of early to be doing that, like 20 games in. But it's fun, so why not? Leave it in the comment section below. Hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed. Hit the bell next to my name if you want to notify every time a new video drops. Also, I've got the podcast going every week, so I also leave the link for that in the comment section and description. Appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you on the next one.